Hey, Blade Fit Army, what's going down? This is Coach Nate again with the Blade Fit Academy. and I have been concentrating on using the Shinai as a method of fitness and also sword training. I'm a big believer in that. There's many ways to do it, of course, but that is one way that I think is super awesome and efficient and economical for people who are new, who want to get into historic fencing for a multiplicity of reasons, and that's a separate video. But today what I wanted to share with you is how I make the Pells that I use, and I've had them in a couple of videos, and I've got a few of them. I'm about to make one more, and so here we go. This is what it looks like when it's finished, the one I have, and here's the core, and this is my awesome, amazing Ensifer sword that I just absolutely love, but that's just sitting on the table. And then there's some other stuff here. Pardon the mess, guys. I'm getting ready for a tournament for next weekend, and I happen to be home on Memorial Day. Today is Memorial Day. Thank you, veterans who served, and of course, today is the day for those who didn't come home. And I wanted to take a minute and honor them. Right here is the base that we use. That sucker goes right into here. Boom. So these are very transportable. So what I have here, I got a free old tire from Discount Tire Center. Some of them will give you the old tires if you say it's for fitness purposes. Some of them won't. It just depends on the store manager. So what do we got here? So, all right. I'm going to explain this in a bit, and then I'm going to explain the spine in just a bit. So what do we have here? So these are 6 by 2, so they're 6 inches tall. And depending on the size of your tire is what you want to use for the length of each of these wood pieces. So there's 4 wood pieces. These are about, I want to say, hold on a second. Let me get a tape measure. Okay, so we're going to measure this guy. And this is the state. So we use God's measuring system. Just kidding. Use the imperial or standard, as we say in the U.S. We pretend we don't like monarchy. So here we go. This is about 12 inches, right, per one of these things. And it doesn't have to be 12 inches, guys. Again, it depends on the circumference of your tire. You want this part to be in the middle of your tire, so you need some negotiation room. I think this is about 12 inches. You want some room here. Obviously, you want some play here so that you can center that. So this one for this tire is about 12 inches. I have it. I drilled a hole in this tire here, and I put a deck screw. And look, the washer is just something I had handy, and so it's a little nut. And then I've got, you could see, for these, it makes a square, and the square has to house the PEX pipe. So this happens to be what, 2 3/4, something like that. Or is that 2 1/2? Nah, it's about 2 3/4, right? Both ways, 2 3/4. Just trust me if you can't see it. Now, I've got 3 deck screws, 1, 2, 3, that holds this to this. And you'll see I've got 3 deck screws all the way around. So it's pretty stable. Now, one thing about this particular base, and I've built probably 10 of these during the course of sorting. And so what I've discovered is that the tire acts as a weight base, but it also acts as a spring. And this wood piece in the middle is an independent spring. And this is on top of a bunch of other tires I'll show you in a minute. So I have them screwed onto the top. And so what that does is the bottom of the tire sits on the floor, and then this sits here. And when you whack against the Pell, it moves, and this moves, and it bends on these 4 points. And the Pell jiggles, and then it goes back to 0, and this moves with it. And then the tire just absorbs the motion. The tire is the spring, and it just puts it back to zero. It's actually pretty cool. So these screws are only screwed on the top. There's no screws on the bottom, so it's free floating on the top. So it's just, you don't have to do it that way, but it's just one of those things that I really like. It just makes it a little bit nicer. And, you know, it's less time building the thing. All right, now let's move over here. So again, this is the final. I've used this a lot. And this is not PVC pipe, guys. This is PEX pipe. You gotta use PEX pipe. It's very important. So I'm making this one, brand new one. Cost of PEX has gone up. It used to be real cheap, something like for a 10-foot length of 1 inch PEX pipe used to be something like $5 and change. Well, now it's about $10 per. That's just how things go, guys. So see, this is Apollo PEX tubing, 1 inch, 1 inch PEX pipe tubing. And then, so that means, hopefully I have enough headspace in my garage that this fits in there. Like so. It's a little bit loose. That's okay. You can put tape around this. If I was making a brand new base for this brand new PEX, see, you can see that this is kind of crunched through time as the PEX kind of moves. And again, this is just pine wood, guys. This is softwood. So it kind of compresses a little bit. Well, you know, the simple 10-cent solution is just wrap some more tape around there. And it's easy to set up, easy to take down. You can put it in your car. I put it in my teeny little Mazda for when I work out. It works awesome. Okay, so now how do we dress this guy up? So you can see this is a little puffy. What I've got under here is a moving blanket, and you can see part of it here. Moving blanket and just duct tape. And I made this shape with that. So I just duct taped around the moving blanket. Because I primarily hit this with my boffers. Now, but I have steels too. And so the steel really chews up the duct tape, especially the cheapo duct tape. And this one happens to have just cheapo duct tape on there. So what can you do? Another thing you can do is attach, when you roll the moving blanket around this guy, you could also wrap it with some cord, right? Some rope cord. This might be too thin of a diameter, but I just had this hanging around. But you could use rope and wrap around all the way down and affix it in, you know, the way that you see fit. You can screw it into the PEX pipe. If you measured that correctly and did that, that's one possibility. You can tape it in sections or glue it, or, you know, I don't really recommend gluing though. That'll probably come off. But I would probably screw it on. And actually, one of these days I'm actually going to make one like that so you can see it. It's important. I like the hold on. Another thing is, you have to make sure that on the spot that you're setting down, you have to make sure that this is flush so that it fits here and that it stands up straight up. And all right, so like I was saying before, one of these days I am going to take some rope and wrap it around because I want a nice flexible Pell for my steels, namely my steel longsword, and I've got some steel sabers and such, and some more sabers that are coming from Coveton. Yeah, I'm gonna drop Coveton's name on here. They're a great company, and I'm looking forward to getting my sabers from them. Primarily, our club is a saber club, although I shouldn't say that. We're a bunch of stuff, but saber's my favorite. I love teaching saber, but I really, like everyone else, I got into historic fencing because I liked longsword. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, so one of the reasons why I don't just use a wood core, because I used to do that. I used to have 4x4 wood cores. In fact, I still have some of those because they're really bomb proof. I mean, they just last forever. But the problem is when you're hitting Pells a lot, the vibration gets into your wrist and it really hurts your wrist bones. You got to be careful and really care for your grip and your wrist whenever you're practicing swords. So if you're gonna hit a Pell, if you're gonna hit it hard, make sure you want to build some flex into it. And by using 1-inch PEX pipe and strapping 4 together, they do have that give. They don't ever break. Never use PVC, guys, because one fine day your PVC is going to break and then you are going to be sad because you got to just make a whole new one. These PEX pipes, it's basically high density plastic. It doesn't break. It just bends and then it goes back into form. See, like doing this one-handed. So here we go. Let me show you. It basically just bends and then it bounces back. This stuff is great for a Pell. The energy dissipates, and especially if you're using a shinai or a buffer, you can hit these guys a lot. You could do years of training and it doesn't hurt your wrists. Guys, that knowledge is hard won. Take it from me. So if you are going to use this method that I'm talking about, this is what you got to do. I mean, if you got a punching bag or something, that's great, but this really dissipates the force and it doesn't rock your wrists over time, because the whole idea of getting fit and getting good with weapons is about self-preservation. And why injure yourself while you're going through the journey? Don't do that, guys. Life is too short, especially if you're getting older like me. I'm 50s on the horizon, which kind of sucks. I'm in denial, in my 40s now. But hey, only the good die old, right? So, treat your body right when you are training, because that's the whole point, making your mind and body better. So make sure you're using equipment that fosters that. Okay, enough of that. Guys, this has been great. I hope this video has been an info dump for you. I hope in a good way. I hope that this is something that you'll take into your practice. This is like, you build your lightsaber, you become a Jedi. Well, you got to build your own Pell, because there's no awesome Pell companies out there that build awesome Pells, and everyone's different. And this one is certainly for a different purpose. This is a little bit of resistance training, like hitting a punching bag for swords. And so therefore we have to be careful of our wrists. So this is for boffers and for wood. Shinai works great. I mean, you could, it's also kind on your steel because it does dissipate the force. What you don't want to be doing a lot is hitting a solid wooden Pell with your steel all the time. Not only is it bad on your wrists, but it's also bad on your sword. And these guys are expensive. Why needlessly use them up so that you have to get, so that they break faster? You don't want to do that. You want to train nice. So Shinai, they're cheap, they're readily available, and if they break, it's not the end of the world. You're kind of bummed for like a little bit, and then you just go buy a new one because they're not that expensive. And there you go. Okay, Blade Fit Army, this is Nate McBride signing off. Happy Memorial Day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.